So with EFF leader Julius Malema facing the possibility of jail time after being found guilty on firearm discharge charges yesterday in the Eastern Cape, there have been questions raised about what this means for the organisation going forward. Malema has already indicated that he intends to appeal that outcome of the court in the Eastern Cape all the way to the Constitutional Court if necessary. Let's get the view now of EFF MP, also member of the Central Command Team, Mazwi Blose. Mazwi, a very good evening to you. Thank you so much for making time to be on SABC News. So what sort of scenario planning are you doing as an organisation in the event that your leader ends up serving jail time?
Well, good evening to you, Tembegile, and the viewers at home. I mean, well, your question does not arise because that's not going to happen. The president of the EFF is not going to be arrested. But we are going to fight this battle because we feel as an organization that this is not really about seeking justice, but it is a political witch hunt against our president just to try and discredit him and the entire organization. So this is just against the firm stance of the EFF, against its policies and its 7 cardinal pillars, and it's those right-wing racist organization who seeks to honor the wishes of Donald Trump and everyone else who wish to see the president behind bars. This case was not proven beyond reasonable doubt at the court of law, and the guilty verdict on the president has got nothing to do with justice, but it's a political witch hunt, and that's how we view it. I'll get to that part in a moment, but to be clear, what you're saying to me is the party is not even contemplating the possibility that this could result in an actual prison sentence for Julius Malema. It's not going to happen. I mean, you go and look at just look at the case in its current form now. So the magistrate says that accused number 2 is acquitted. He is not found guilty of the charges of handing the firearm to accused number 1. But accused number 1 is found guilty of firing the very same firearm that accused number 2 is not guilty of handing it over to him. So we are going to be very interested to hear what the Supreme Court of Appeal how they will interpret this case, because by releasing or acquitting accused number 2 of all the charges, you've really just collapsed your own case. So again, we are saying that you can see that clear demonstration that this case was looking for the president of the EFF. It had nothing to do with what have happened in the 5th celebration of the EFF. It has nothing to do with, this illegal possession of a firearm or firing a firearm, all of that, because we proved to court that was a toy gun. It was not real ammunition that was fired there. The tent or the marquee that was in the stage was not damaged. There were no fingerprints or DNA that were found on the said firearm by the president. So there's no case, there's no evidence, there's nothing that implicates President Julius Malema in this case, and we are not faced by it. We don't think that he's going to spend any jail time with this case. And on the issue of challenging this case, so I've picked up a few things, and you can add as we go along in terms of the grounds on which you'd want to mount an appeal. The first that I've picked up just in this response is that you don't believe that the judge came to a rational conclusion, something that is logical in terms of the chain of custody around the gun, etc., right? You also earlier then said this is basically the outcome of a political witch hunt. So when you do go to court, there was also the claim yesterday, I think Julius Malema himself said this, suggesting that there was racial bias as well in the matter. How do you then pull all of that together and convince a court, especially on the latter parts, that, for example, he may have been treated unfairly because he's black and his former bodyguard was white, etc.? No, look, the entire case is about race. It's racism against the president of the EFF. Accused number 2 was just there and as a sideshow, so that they try to hide whatever it is that they were doing. But if you go and look at the case in its totality, I mean, right now, accused number 2 owns the security company that would have been, the owners of the said firearm. But there is a person there who is Mavunda, who then was responsible to issue that firearm. The president asked this question, that why is Larry Mavunda not charged? Because he is the one who even came to court and admitted that this firearm was issued to me it is in my position. I went to the Eastern Cape, and this firearm was left where I stay. It never made its way to the Eastern Cape. And the president was asking a very simple question. Here's a guy who's admitting that this firearm is him, and we are saying this is a firearm in question. Why are you not charging him? The magistrate dismissed that as ridiculous. He said, why must Larry be charged? So you can see that even outside of the bodyguard of the president, who is white, outside of that, they were not looking for anyone else. They were just looking for President Julius Malema so they can appease their white bosses and all these white wing organizations that don't want to see a day in Julius Malema's political life.
What do you mean by they? Do you mean the court system, the justice system? Is that who you're referring to?
Well, the entire system, the courts, the Firearm, the DA, everyone else. And remember, these are the owners of productions. These are the people who control. Even right now, the Madlanga Commission, is... I've got disturbance. I'm not sure what is happening.
But the Madlanga Commission
is dealing with...
We can still hear you.
I'm saying the Madlanga Commission right now is dealing with such things where you are seeing that the entire security cluster of the country is compromised, including the courts, by the way. So when I speak of the system and then those people who don't want to see a day in the life of the political activism of President Julius Malema, are those people who are opposed to land expropriation, are those people who are exposed to nationalization of strategic sectors of the country. And then they know that, or in their small minds, they think that by arresting the president, then those ideas would die away. And that will never happen, because this is a generational mission that the EFF is pursuing. So those are the people that I'm referring to, those people who control the economy of the country, and they want the status quo to remain.
Lastly, you're convinced Julius Malema, the leader of the EFF, will not end up in prison. He said yesterday that even if it did happen, he would basically wear it as a badge of honor, as a revolutionary. But I would imagine that there are some in the membership who may be feeling nervous, to say the least, about what this would mean for him personally or for the organization as the leader and the face, in large part. How then do you manage those anxieties among your members? Because the sentencing, if we get there, is supposed to come around, I think it's in January of next year.
No, look, a lot of commentators have predicted the fall of the EFF, have predicted the death of the EFF. What the president is going through is not the first time. They've taken away everything from him, even during his ANC times. They've tried him in the EFF many a times. He's got graves with his name all over the country. So even this prediction of jail and the prediction of the EFF is not the first time. So the membership of the EFF is intact. I mean, the CIC spoke outside the magistrate court in East London, and he gave assurance that there's only one president of this organization, and it remains him as the president and commander-in-chief of the organization. Nothing changes. We must go back to the ground and build our structures and prepare for the next coming local government elections. So we are not shaken. The entire leadership, the membership, and all the ground forces and the battalion of the EFF remains committed to the cause. We remain resolute. Our president is in good shape, is in good spirits, and is championing what the EFF seeks to achieve, and will continue up until, while we continue with the mission to deliver this country in a better state, we'll also fight anything that comes his way. It's not just this court battle. There are many other battles. The white wingers were USA not so long ago to deliver some book to Donald Trump again, and they still keep fighting us, and they'll keep going. So we'll win this one, another battle will come, and we are resolute, we are not shaken. We'll continue to fight because we know what we signed up for.
Okay, Mazwi Blose, thank you so much for your time. EFF Member of Parliament and member of the Central Command team, I believe, speaking to us here on The Full View.